Drone deliveries are no longer science fiction. They've taken off in the city of Gurugram. Skye Air Mobility has begun operating drone-based deliveries in parts of Gurgaon, making a major shift in urban logistics. But as deliveries move to the skies, concerns are bound to rise over safety, regulation and the future of gig jobs. CEO Ankit Kumar says while drones may eventually replace many on-road deliveries, employment won't disappear. Rather, it will evolve with new roles emerging for drone operators and logistics managers. News 9's Nupur Praveen spoke to Ankit Kumar, founder and CEO of Skye Air Mobility. Listen in.
At a time when 10-minute delivery concept is becoming very controversial, especially because of the growing pressure on delivery riders, there is a new alternative rising in the market, and rising quite literally. I am joined by the CEO of Skye Air Delivery. Skye Air is a company that that it works for drone deliveries. Now, it's a very new concept, and I'm going to talk to the CEO. Ankit, thank you so much for joining us. For a large part of Indians, drone delivery seems to be science fiction. Now, you've brought this to reality. Explain it to the general audience. What is drone delivery? How did you get into it? And what are you doing right now?
It indeed was a science fiction, that triggered us to look into the aspects of how we can go and make it a reality. And everything starts being a science fiction until you start believing it too much into it and start building that whole thing into reality. So we started in 2019, and the idea was, hey, there's enough which is happening on horizontal medium of transportation, the movement of the vehicles and things like that, but that's not really solving for it because the congestion is on the rise and the need for quicker and faster delivery is going to increase massively, which is there today. Consumers need things to be delivered in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. No matter how much you want to remove that, that's the element of convenience which is there pretty much with the consumers right now. We looked into that aspect and we looked into building something called as vertical transportation ecosystem. When I say an ecosystem, it's a vehicle which is being transporting the goods, but there's a lot of things which needs to come together to make this work. We've got a ground infrastructure where we have sky pods which are installed, which are capable of receiving a package through a drone. We have got the drones which are moving from a drone station to your apartment building where the sky pods are installed. And then it is dropping over there. Then we have a walker over there who's taking that package out and going and delivering to the doorstep. And whatever means of or modes of things are there, essentially it's all happening in 7 to 8 minutes. Now, speed is just one element that we're trying to solve for. Sustainability is the bigger element. We have done about, in last 2.5 years, we did about 3.6 million deliveries. We saved about 1,000 tons of carbon emission just in the city of Gurgaon.
I mean, there are a lot of concerns about DGCA regulations as well, right? As a founder, what do you think is like the biggest hurdle when it comes to DGCA regulations? Because, we know Domino's and Amazon has tried doing it decades ago, but it never happens because of the various regulations. So what do you see as the biggest hurdle right now?
I don't think that DGCA or the regulatory authorities are a hurdle to this. I think the policy has been made. It has sort of allowed things to happen to a certain degree. To make it much easier, what we developed is called the Skye UTM. UTM is an unmanned traffic management system. So back in 2023, Nitin Gadkari ji took the honor of inaugurating the entire platform, which today is being utilized by 150 drone operators and drone pilots, including our captive utilization, which is essentially there. And we give the view to the regulatory authorities that where the drones are flying, how the drones are flying. The Skye UTM is creating that amount of channel for us to go to regulatory authority, not just at the central level, but also at the ground level. We coordinate with the local police, we coordinate with the local DC office, fire brigade, tehsildars, everybody. We got every NOC that we wanted to have. And then we went in and we started creating corridors. Our drones do not have cameras, so it doesn't violate any privacy or national security. And since we don't have cameras on the drones, we developed the whole architecture and the navigation system in a way that there are no obstacles in the path that the drones are following and going through.
Now, like I said, it's a relatively new technology. So, there are bound to be a lot of obvious questions. One thing that comes to my mind is what happens if the drone loses signal midway? What happens then? I mean, what you're flying on top of neighborhoods, residential areas. Who takes care of these things?
So drones are always connected through our own proprietary connectivity platform. We call it Sky Connect. It's a 4G, 5G module that goes onto a drone, dual redundant, so uses two SIM cards and keeps on connecting with the ground control station at all times. If it loses a connection at any given point of time, What happens is it holds that position in the air for 120 seconds. If it is not regaining the connection, it comes back to the landing site. It doesn't pursue the mission again, right? So it is very essential for us that when we are building that corridor for the drones to transport, we also look into where are the blind spots in that corridor and remove those blind spots and make the corridor in a way that you have 99.9% connectivity with the drone at all times.
Okay, so this is about navigation. But say if I am, if I am ordering something and a drone delivery is taking place, I am constantly worried. What happens to my if my product is damaged? If it doesn't reach me, who pays? Who pays for my refund?
We pay for the refund. Our drones are insured. There's a third party liability insurance as well, which is compulsory for all the drones and all the flights that we conduct. So if your package is damaged, we pay for the package. We get you a new package or we refund you back.
Just to play devil's advocate, I mean, there are a lot of instant delivery apps available in the market, right? Which may not deliver the product, say, in 10 minutes, but 15 minutes, 20 minutes. At this point, why should I or an average Indian trust a drone delivery system, which seems very complicated as of now, just for an average Indian?
Yeah, so look, I think the value proposition that we're creating is largely for the businesses, right? A business which is into e-commerce or quick commerce or a D2C brands, let's call it. I mean, we are here at the D2C Summit. Let's talk about the D2C brands. They invest a lot of money into transporting any product to reach to the consumer in a timely manner, right? Now, even if it is a 30 minutes delivery or 10 minutes delivery or 15 minutes delivery, I think the cost is a relative sense which anybody wants to reduce in an overall capacity. Drones are the medium where drones are today 10 to 15% cheaper than the road logistics, right? And since it is cheaper, it provides a value to the brands and to the platforms to reduce their own internal logistics cost, so that there's nothing which is going on the consumer. Consumer is not paying extra for drone delivery. It's the platform which are absorbing the cost. At the same time, the platform is getting benefited because they're saving like 10 to 15% of the cost.
How soon can we see drone delivery, Skye Air becoming a very common phenomenon in most Indian cities? What's your vision?
I think 2 years. We want to be in 5 to 10 cities in next 2 years. We're right now just in Gurgaon. We just started doing small bit of operations in Bangalore. We are looking at expanding to the south and west of Delhi soon. In 10 days, 15 days time, we should be there. And likewise, keep on expanding within the NCR, plus go outside of NCR into 5 other cities. So in 2 years, we aim that we should be doing about 35 million deliveries to achieve every year. And that's the goal.
That's a lot of gig worker job being taken away.
Not really. Not really. Because, I think I'm a big advocate that, the AI is not going to take the job. It's rather going to transition and transform the jobs into something useful and meaningful.
There are a lot of misconceptions around drone delivery, right? Just tell me one misconception that you'd like to bust. Something about drone delivery that we all get wrong.
Yeah, I think one common question that comes to me: what if somebody throws a stone?
What is the answer to that?
And I always give an answer that we have only one Neeraj Chopra in the country who knows how to throw a javelin that high and that long, right? So not everybody can reach out to the drones and throw a javelin like that. So yeah, let's get out of that. That's the biggest myth which is there.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.